Seniors, let me ask you something that deserves an honest answer. If walking was truly enough after 65, why do so many people who walk every day still feel weaker each year? Why do the legs still feel heavy? Why do cramps still wake people up at night? Why does getting out of a chair feel harder than it did 5 years ago, even for people who stayed active? This isn't a failure of effort. This is a failure of information. And today, we're going to correct it. Right now, you're sitting in a chair. And that matters more than you realize. You didn't click this video because you don't move enough. You clicked because something never added up. You walked like they told you to. You stayed consistent. You pushed through discomfort. Yet strength didn't return. Balance didn't improve. The warning signs kept coming. That quiet frustration you feel? That's your body asking for a different kind of input. I've worked with aging bodies long enough to say this clearly and responsibly. Walking is not harmful, but walking alone is structurally incomplete for the aging neuromuscular system. After 60, and especially after 65, your body changes how it responds to movement. Muscles don't weaken simply because you move less. They weaken because the signal that tells them to activate fades. Walking relies heavily on momentum. Momentum reduces the need for precise muscle firing. That's helpful for endurance, but damaging for strength preservation. Here's what changes with age. Your nervous system becomes more selective. It stops responding to vague, repetitive motion. It demands intentional activation. This is why walking longer doesn't rebuild muscle. Walking faster increases joint stress. And walking daily still leads to gradual weakness. The muscles are moving, but they are not being trained. Most physicians know this. Most physical therapists know this. Most orthopedic surgeons absolutely know this. But explaining it properly takes time. And time is the one thing modern healthcare doesn't allow. So seniors are given the simplest advice possible. Just keep walking. Not because it's optimal, but because it's quick. Here's the irony. The very thing many seniors feel guilty about, sitting, is actually one of the safest and most effective positions to retrain aging muscle. When seated, momentum is removed, balance risk is reduced, muscles must activate intentionally, and nerve signaling improves. This is why rehabilitation programs use chairs extensively. Not because they're easy, but because they're precise. In this long-form presentation, you're going to learn why walking stops working after 65, how muscle activation actually declines, why chairs are used in clinical rehab, and the 5 most effective chair exercises, ranked from least to most powerful. These exercises are used quietly in fall prevention programs, post-surgical rehab, and geriatric conditioning. They are not trendy. They are effective. If you've ever thought, maybe this is just aging, let me be very clear. Loss of strength is not inevitable. Loss of independence is not automatic. But rebuilding requires a different approach, one based on activation, not repetition. Before we move forward, take a moment. Notice how you're sitting right now, because by the end of this series, that chair will no longer feel like a place of decline. It will feel like a tool for rebuilding. And next, we're going to talk about what actually happens inside aging muscle and why walking cannot stop it. You've probably heard the phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it. That sounds logical, but it's incomplete. After 65, the body doesn't respond to any use. It responds to specific types of use. This is where walking quietly fails. Muscle tissue doesn't age first. The nervous system ages first. Specifically, the speed of nerve signaling slows. The precision of muscle recruitment declines, and fast-reacting muscle fibers go dormant. So even if you're moving, your muscles may not be receiving a strong enough signal to stay alive. Walking sends a low-demand, repetitive signal. It tells your muscles to do the minimum needed to keep moving forward. That's fine at 30. It's not enough at 65. Walking is dominated by momentum. Once you're moving, your body weight carries you forward, gravity assists the step, and muscles coast instead of contract. Momentum helps movement, but it robs muscles of responsibility. and aging muscles need responsibility to survive. This explains why walking longer doesn't help, walking faster stresses joints, and walking daily still leads to weakness. The signal never changes. This is why seniors who walk every day, stay active, and never sit around still struggle with rising from chairs, climbing stairs, balance, and fatigue. This isn't laziness. It's neuromuscular understimulation. Their muscles are being used, but not being challenged. Your muscles contain different fibers. Slow fibers handle endurance and repetition. Fast fibers handle strength, reaction, and stability. Walking primarily uses slow fibers. Fast fibers, the ones that catch you when you trip, stabilize your hips, and help you rise quickly, shut down without targeted activation. Once they go dormant, falls increase dramatically. This is where chair exercises become powerful. When you're seated, momentum disappears, balance assistance disappears, and muscles must activate deliberately. Your nervous system is forced to reconnect, recruit dormant fibers, and fire muscles intentionally. This is exactly what aging muscles need. It's not about intensity, it's about clarity of signal. In rehabilitation settings, chairs are everywhere. Not because patients are weak, but because therapists understand control matters more than load. A seated exercise removes cheating, removes momentum, and forces precise activation. Gyms chase sweat. Rehab chases signal quality. For seniors, signal quality wins. When seniors try to fix weakness by walking more, joint wear increases, fatigue accumulates, and balance declines. Tired muscles react slower, and slow reaction, not lack of strength, is what causes most falls. Most falls do not happen during steady walking. They happen when starting to move, when stopping, when turning, or when reacting. Walking does not train these moments. Chair exercises do. After 65, the priority shifts. You must train muscle activation speed, controlled contraction, isometric strength, and stabilizer muscles. These are not trained by walking. They are trained by slow lifts, pauses, controlled lowering, and deliberate tension. Exactly what chair exercises provide. Walking supports circulation and mood, but it should be supplemental. Think of walking as movement, and chair exercises as maintenance of independence. Now that you understand the science, it's time to act. Exercise number 5, seated ankle pumps with resistance circles, is subtle but powerful. Imagine your lower legs acting like mini heart pumps, moving blood efficiently back toward your heart, reducing swelling, fatigue, and cramp frequency. Sit tall with feet flat, hip width apart. Lift your toes toward your shins, hold for 2 seconds, then lower past neutral, pointing slightly down. Draw small circles with your toes at the top and bottom. Perform 30 cycles, about 1 cycle every 3 seconds. Gradually add a resistance band around the balls of your feet to increase workload. People doing this twice daily report reduced swelling, less fatigue, improved circulation, and a lower risk of deep vein thrombosis. Exercise number 4, seated marching with core activation, wakes up your hips and core in a way walking never can. Sit toward the front edge of your chair, spine tall, hands lightly on the sides. Lift your right knee toward your chest while engaging your core. Hold 3 seconds, lower slowly, then switch legs. Alternate 20 reps per side. This strengthens hip flexors, stabilizes the core, improves posture, balance, and stair climbing ability. Gradually extend arms forward or add ankle weights to increase challenge. Together with ankle pumps, this prepares your legs and core for lateral stability and circulation. Next, exercise number 3, seated side leg lifts with extended hold, targets lateral hip stability. Sit sideways, right hip against the backrest, lift the left leg straight out to the side, hold 5 seconds, lower slowly, repeat 15 times per side. This strengthens gluteus medius and minimus, essential for balance and fall prevention. Add resistance bands or light ankle weights for progression. Exercise number 2, seated heel raises, targets the soleus and calves, improving circulation, metabolism, and insulin sensitivity. Sit tall, lift heels as high as possible, squeeze for 2 seconds, and lower slowly. Perform 25 reps, gradually increasing repetitions or resistance. Finally, exercise number 1, seated straight leg extensions with isometric holds, is the crown jewel. Sit tall, back against the chair, grip the sides. Extend your right leg until parallel to the floor. Flex the foot. Hold 8 seconds while squeezing quads. Lower slowly. 12 repetitions per leg. This strengthens quadriceps for rising, climbing stairs, knee stability, and independence. Progress with ankle weights, longer holds, or alternate heavy and light days. Integrating all 5 exercises into a weekly routine maximizes results. Start with 2 to 3 sets per exercise, adjust based on recovery, and schedule lighter and heavier days. Pair short sessions throughout the day with activities like watching TV or reading to stay consistent. Focus on the mind-muscle connection, controlled tempo, proper posture, breathing, and tracking progress. Celebrate improvements in sit-to-stand times, balance, and stair climbing. Consistency matters more than intensity. Even 5 to 10 minutes daily has cumulative benefits. Seniors can still gain muscle mass, bone density, balance, and metabolic health. These exercises reduce falls, swelling, hip and knee pain, while improving independence. Combining daily chair exercises with mindful attention and visualization enhances results. With 5 to 20 minutes daily, you are actively investing in your health, mobility, and longevity. Pick a start date, set reminders, and commit. Your future self will thank you.